Hey everybody, I'm Pierre Piscitelli. Hope you're all doing great. Today's lesson is Who's Crying Now by Journey. This is not a song that I plan to teach, and it's not one that was requested in the comments either. But it came up on Spotify the other day, and I remembered how good it is, and how easy it is to play, and how much of a little Steely Dan, Fagin, yacht rock kind of vibe there is. I know I'm not supposed to use the word yacht rock, but who cares? There's just something about that chorus that I find to be so catchy and beautiful, and it's not too difficult to play. So I'm going to teach it to you guys, and I hope you enjoy it. As always, don't forget to check out my Patreon if you like what I'm doing and you want to support me. It's a really fun community with some added bonuses and extra things there. And of course, my arrangement that I'm using to teach this lesson is available for purchase at musicnotes.com. Okay, let's get into it. So the 8 bars that I played for you guys at the very beginning of this video will take you pretty far. That serves as your introduction, your verse, and your chorus. So pretty much everything except the bridge and some little outro details. So let's talk about those 8 bars, and we'll call it the intro because we're starting at the very beginning. I'll replay it and then we'll talk. So on the right hand, you have a pattern that looks something like this. This pattern is modified slightly each time it comes around. Let me show you. So at the very top, here's the second time. So a little bit different. Third time. And now the last time. So you can see that the shapes and even the sound it's pretty similar each time, with a couple of little tweaks and tweaks in the left hand as well, which result in harmonic changes. So let's go through each of these 4 little sections, and then you'll have your introduction, which, like I said, is most of the verse and the chorus. So first thing we have to do, C, E, A with the right hand, like this. And now I want you to hang on to the A with the pinky, but bring in an additional finger. You're going to play B, D, G, and A. I think 1, 2, 4, 5 work best for this. Now pick up your hand and move to G, C, E, like that. And then come right back to the chord we were on before this G, C, E. B, D, G, A. Remember this 4-note chord? So it's really 4 positions here. C, E, A, B, D, G, A, G, C, E, back to B, D, G, A. The phrase starts with a rest, so stomp your foot, do whatever you need to hold that rest. So rest. That's how it goes. One more time, rest. Slow that down and rewatch it as many times as you need to before going on. Here's the second pattern. It's very similar. So actually all the same chords, just in a different order. So C, E, A once again, B, D, G, A once again. But now go back to C, E, A and conclude on G, C, E. So rest, like that. Just slightly different. Let's move on to the third out of these 4 patterns. Here's what it looks like. Rest. So this one's a bit more involved. We're going to start, instead of C, E, A, like the previous 2, we're going to change the middle note to C, F, A. Okay, so it's close enough. Then we're going to go to B, E, G, A. So a 4-note chord, but a little different from the other 2. Now, 2 notes, B and E. 2 notes again, D, G. And then hop up to E, A. 2 notes again, right? These are not triads, they're dyads, right? They're just 2 notes. So here's what that third pattern looks like. Rest. One more time slowly. Rest. And now the fourth one is the simplest one, and it's derivative from everything that we already did. There's nothing new. So rest. That's it. That's your 4th pattern. So C, E, A, B, D, G, A, and conclude on CEA. That's it. So those are the 4 different patterns, the 4 different little chord progressions. So here's how all of them sound together, just with the right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 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 And that's your introduction, which will serve you very well throughout the rest of the piece. Now the left hand, which is copying the bass part. I think it's nice to do that instead of just playing whole notes. If you want to be really simple and just play whole notes, you can do that. You could just play A, then you can play F, then you could play D, E, and back to A. So 5 notes will get you there. Just A, F, now D, E, A. But like I said, I think it's nicer to play the bass part, so let me play that for you. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. See, it's a bit more involved. There are a couple of little fills which are nice. Let me show you what they are and when they happen. So we'll start our left hand of the introduction with A, and you're counting 6 beats, and then on the and of 3 in the next bar there's going to be a fill. Let me show you what that sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And this fill will be E, A, F. And again, you'll sit on this for about 6 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So this fill is just the notes C, E, D. You hold that for a full bar. And you play E for a full bar. And then A. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the last fill, E, G, A. Take you to the next section, which also starts on A. So we'll recap that. A, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So you choose whether you want to do the more involved true bass part or if you want to just play simple root whole notes like I showed you earlier. It really doesn't matter too much. So when we put them together, here's how it works. Remember that the right hand does nothing on beat 1. It's a rest. We were stomping our foot just to imagine that rest. You're actually going to play left hand right there during that rest on beat 1. So left hand attacks first. Then the fill. Left. Now right when you move to the B and the E in the right hand, left hand moves to E at the same time. Watch. And then after the last 2 note chord in the right hand, E and A, left hand can go back to A. And then the final fill. So that's how it works. I'll talk through it again one more time and then I'll play it. Fill. Here's the fill. Together. Now I'll just play it. So notice that the action in the left hand is while the right hand is relaxing. This is really good orchestration. So the bass fills are happening when the piano player is chilling out or holding a half note or a dotted half note or whatever, right? It's not in a moment when things are too busy. So your hands get to trade off how hard they're working, or the busyness essentially, which is a good thing. Now I'm gonna play through the verses, which are 99% identical, so you don't really have anything new to learn, but I'll point out 2 or 3 minute differences, which you can do or you can ignore them. Nobody's really gonna notice, but in the interest of being hyper detail oriented and as accurate as possible, I will point them out to you. So let me play through the verses and then we'll point out the differences if you didn't already catch them. Here we go. This is when the vocals come in. You may have caught some differences just then when I played through this verse. If you didn't catch anything by ear, don't worry about it. I'm going to go through it slowly and point out the little differences to you if you want to catch those. So here's the top of the verse where the vocals come in. All the same. There's the difference. Instead of doing those 3 sets of 2-note chords, this one, the E and the A, the third one, it's gone. So we just do, and we sit there. And now this left hand fill is a little bit different. Just E, G, A. And then we do this all again for the second half of the verse. All the same. Again, that's it. The third chord is gone, so we just sit here. And once again, a new fill that's a little more exciting to take us into the chorus, which is going to get louder and busier. So what you're dealing with is E, G, A, C, B, A. And the B is the longest note. We kind of pause there. So don't go. That's wrong. It should go. So those are the little differences, tiny differences in fills, and of course, this chord being gone both times. That's it. Now, let's hear the chorus, which is going to be almost identical. Listen. Pretty cool, right? So what were the differences? Let's go through it. Mostly it's a simplification of the left hand. Remember when I showed you guys early in the verse, actually the intro, I said you could just play simple roots, A, F, D, E, back to A, right? I said you could get away with playing 5 notes if you don't want to do the bass line. That's sort of what this chorus does. It's simpler. So what we're going to do is play A, just like that, F, D. Now here's the curveball. We're actually going to play a G. And then back to A. So that's half of the chorus right there, just 5 notes. A, F, D, G, A. So just play those a few times. Get comfortable, get your hand to exist in that position. It shouldn't be moving around. You can access all the notes with the right fingers, especially if you start with 3 on the A, and 5 can play the F, 1 can play D, 5 can play G, 4 can play A, right? There are a couple of different ways to do it, depending on how big your hands are, but that's how I'm doing it. So coupled with the right hand, here's what it's going to sound like. And the right hand is exactly like the verse. Exactly identical. Now we're halfway through the chorus there. You have to do this fill, which should sound familiar to you. I taught it to you about 2 minutes ago. E, G, A, C, B, A. That's how we got into the chorus. Now let me play through the second half of the chorus. Now we're going to imitate the guitar, which does this really beautiful A minor 9 pattern, and it sounds like this. You strike the left hand on the A, count to 2, 1, 2, and then go. And what that is B, C, G, C, G in the right hand. 1, 2. A little faster. 1, 2. And then conclude with EGA. You've done before. That's going to take you back to a verse because we have to do all of this again. So without any talking, now that I showed you those tiny differences that are happening, I'm going to play through the entire chorus properly. That's it. So to be perfectly honest, you could just learn the introduction and keep playing it over and over and over and over, and you could get away with it in a band. But pointing out these little changes I think is important because Journey was not lazy when they crafted this song. They really carefully threw in some nice subtle differences between the sections so that it didn't get too repetitive. I think it's important to note that. So like I just said, we're going to go back and do another verse. I might as well play it. Differences. Chorus. Now, when I resolve on this beautiful guitar lick, I play it a few extra times. So instead of going 1, 2, I do this, 1, 2. So I go back and forth between the G and the C 4 times. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just to prolong it, why not? So now we're at the bridge. Here's how the bridge is going to go. It's not too hard. One, 2, 3, 4. Really pretty bridge. So here's how it's going to go. We're going to start with F major 7 for a full measure, and we do this by playing F in the left hand, C, E, A in the right hand. Just like that. Count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now for the next bar, D in the left hand, this is going to be a D minor chord, A, D, F, right hand. But I don't want you to just play the chord. That's too boring. We're going to do this instead. So I'm rolling the notes from bottom to top and then back down. D, A, D, F, D, A. Just like that. Now the next one is interesting. Put your left hand on an A octave and put your right hand on C and A, like this. Play them together, then move your right hand up to D and B, and then up again to E and C, just adjacent white keys. So C, A, D, B, E, C, and let's come back to D, B. So why am I making you do this? Well, there's a pattern that comes from this shape that I just showed you. It goes like this. Just like that. So what they're doing with that A octave in the left hand is actually rolling thumb to pinky after attacking the right hand. So it goes right, 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 right. And left is always just going A, like that. One more time. Okay, and then you're going to roll your right hand along A, E, C, B. One more time. So what those 4 bars sound like, which comprise half of the bridge, that's what you just did. Now the second half of the bridge is similar. F in the left hand, A, C, E right hand. F major 7 again, just played a little differently. But don't just do that. I want you to do this. So roll those right hand notes. Now left hand plays D. We're going to play D minor chord. And shift your right hand a bit so it's on A, D, F. And do the same thing. Roll, 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 moving up. And then come back down just to add a little bit of a conclusion. One more time. Now let's move on to a C major chord. We're going to do G, C, E right hand, C of course left hand. But I want you to reach up with the pinky to another G. And then roll down E, C, like this. G, E, C. A little faster. We're almost done. 2 more bars. Now play a regular root position G triad. G, B, D, G in the left hand. And let's get that pinky up to G again. D, B. Rolling downward. See the pattern? So chord, and then the roll. And now here's the conclusion. Kind of comes out of nowhere. B flat in the left hand and C, D, F right hand. And they hit together. And then quickly this little C, which is the odd note out, right? It's not part of a B flat major triad usually, right? This is the 2nd degree or the 9th. We're gonna resolve it to B flat. Just like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's an 8-beat segment. It's a lot of stuff. Let me play through the whole bridge slowly. You can rewind and go back, rewatch any of that if you need to, but let's say you got it by this point. I'll play through all of it so that you can check your work and see if it sounds something like this. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now one more time at a closer to the original record type of tempo, so a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. That's your bridge. After that bridge, we're just gonna play the introduction again. I call this the interlude because it's mostly instrumental with some woes and like ad-libbed vocals, but it's the intro, cut and pasted. So here we go. So notice, since this was a cut and paste of the intro, right here, that third chord, the E and the A, which we've been cutting out of all these subsequent sections, it comes back because this is really like the introduction. Now we're gonna go into a chorus, which is 16 bars long. It's the same thing twice, but it's different than the others because we're actually gonna play the instrumental accompaniment that I taught you for the verse, for the first 8 bars, then the chorus for the next 8 bars. Here's what I mean by that. So they're gonna sing the chorus lyrics right here, but you're playing the verse music. See what I mean? Now the second half of the chorus will resemble a chorus in terms of the accompaniment. Watch. Simpler left hand, like the other chorus. And a G in the left hand, like the other choruses. So they sort of sandwich 8 bars of a verse and 8 bars of a chorus in terms of the musical accompaniment together in order to build us into that chorus. And the drums come in the second half. So just beware of that. Now there's a guitar solo, which you can loop as long as you want, or you can just cut it out altogether. And this will be exactly like the other choruses. See, with the simple left hand. Repeat, if you want. You can play that as many times as you want. Communicate with your guitar player if you have one in your band, or if you don't, just cut that part out. Now there's a really cool piano riff. If you guys can do this, they're quick octaves. I'm going to show you an easier way to do it after I show you the real way to do it. So here's the ending piano riff. 1, 2, 3, and. And you can just fade out after that. Let's start with the right hand riff, which is the harder part, but let's get that out of the way. You're gonna play everything in octaves if you can. If not, I'll show you how to do single notes after. D octave, E, up to C, B, G, D, E, G, A. That's the riff. Again, D, E, C, B, G, D, E, G, A. Right there. No talking. A little faster. Now the next time we go through this, because we are going to repeat it, it's almost identical, except for a little difference that you might catch. See, we just stay on the G instead of going G, A at the end. So it's simpler. We got rid of the last note. Stay on G. Third time through. we add the A back in, so it's like the first time. And then we're going to take a rest for 2 beats, 1, 2, and do that little beautiful guitar lick, B, C, G, C, G. So all together, it's really like the same thing 3 times, and then the guitar lick. So here we go. Again. Stop on the G. Bring back the A. 1, 2. That's how it goes. Left hand is just the roots that you are very familiar with by this point. A, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. F, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. G, 2, 3, 4. A, 2, 3, 4. Here's the fill, which we've done many times. So here's how it comes together. Repeat that as many times as you want. Now let's say that you were challenged with octaves. That's okay. You can get rid of the octaves and play these as single notes. So like this. Just get rid of the pinky note or the thumb note from what I just taught you and just play single notes. D, E, C, B, G, D, E, G, A. It's not so bad. It's a little emptier, but it would certainly work if you had to do that. It's a hell of a lot easier to play, I'll tell you that. So if you have to do that, no problem, just play as single notes. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. If this video was helpful, please like it. Please subscribe, it helps me so much. Don't forget to check out my sheet music store as well as the Patreon. And I'll see you all soon in the next video.